This is BMW's R1250RT, and as far as I'm concerned, this is the most luxurious motorcycle for two-up riding that I have ever seen. Let's hear all about it. First, let's go over some numbers. She's a hefty girl, a proud German Frau, if you will. She weighs 642 pounds, has a 6.5-gallon fuel tank, returning about 38 miles per gallon, at least on this test bike, which, if you do that math real quick, you get about 250 miles per gas tank and fill up, which is great for them long distance trips, but not too much where you end up stuck on the bike with 100 more miles and you have to use the bathroom and you don't have an excuse to stop. BMW, thanks for thinking of that. Then we got this 1250cc shift cam engine putting out 135 horsepower and 109 foot-pounds of torque. And boy, let me tell you, that torque is super noticeable. Thank you very much for putting that together. So now, we did say this has the shift cam, which means that there's two different cam profiles on the inside of the engine, and when you're in a lower rev situation, you still have all that power and torque available. Then, once you're higher in the revs, maybe cruising down the highway, the cam shifts to the slightly different profile, and you have that same torque available up higher in the revs. It's a brilliant idea. It's like a new version of a VTEC system. You gotta love it. Now, let's talk about why this is fantastic for two-up riding. First up, the amenities. Heated grips, a heated seat, and a passenger heated seat. And let me tell you, just to look at this thing, my wife doesn't exactly love riding with me. But when she saw this in the garage, she really got taken back and went, oh, I'd go on that. And you know what we did? We had a blast. And I got to scare her a little bit because this thing absolutely can handle its business too. Now, you do have a telelever and paralever suspension, which means a couple of different things. Because of the new system in this, you don't have to set it and tell it that you have a passenger or luggage on. It actually senses the weight and adjusts your suspension accordingly. So you always have perfect steering geometry on this bike, and the bike handles totally flat. Super hard braking, the front end doesn't dive. It stays totally flat and lets you pitch into corners. Once you get used to it, it is super luxurious and very easy to ride, and very easy to ride quickly, despite its massive size. We have these two huge seats, very accommodating, very comfortable. You gotta have at least 2 inches of thickness here in the back. My wife was thrilled. Plus, all these luggage and little cubbies. We have these two little cubbies here on the front, one for your key, super easy to forget when you pull into parking lots, and the other cubby is definitely for your USB connection or any kind of iPod. Now, just so everybody knows, you cannot fit your phone in either one of these forward compartments. So even though that's where you'd hook up your iPod's music, you can't wedge your phone in there. You got to kind of figure out a way around it. Maybe the next generation will have that. But these luggage compartments are luxurious and they come off super easy. Just a flick of the key can pop the whole thing off, walk into your tent for the night, walk back out and put it right back on instantaneously, no effort at all. Then is the wind protection. If you get a good look at this, it is thick from side to side. Your legs are protected, your chest is protected, and the best part is we have this automatic electric windscreen. Can go up, can go down, and surrounds you in the most luxurious air-free bubble. Wind-free, not air-free, there's plenty of oxygen. But you can't feel any of the wind. It's like riding in the middle of a cocoon. And the best part is, like we mentioned, that USB port, you have a great radio, and with the windscreen up, Still at about 55 miles per hour, you start to struggle to hear it, but the radio speakers are really fantastic for what you pay for with the BMW system, and you can listen to all your jams as you're rolling. It's pretty fantastic, very accommodating. Moving right along. Now, let's get into my favorite part of the review, my riding impressions. And this big girl is an athlete. She is tough, she is strong. It handles incredibly. The way the frame is set up, that dynamic mode is ideal. Any road condition, if you're riding slow, gets a little softer in the suspension, makes the throttle a little bit more tame, and then when you open it up and it realizes it's moving, which happens instantaneously, you can fly around corners. My wife was freaking out. She thought this thing was gonna be this nice, cute, luxurious, easy ride, which it can be, up until you wick it up and hit a turn, and boy, this thing will pitch all the way over. The center of gravity and your ground clearance makes it so easy to do it. And the brakes are 10 times better than the engine. This thing will stop on a dime. One finger won't send you over the handlebars because the whole thing squats when you brake. Because the brake talks to the suspension, talks to the engine, talks to the ABS. You never notice anything is ever unsettled, ever. Gotta love it. Now, the engine is great, except it doesn't really talk to the gearbox so well. Now, this opposed boxer engine is the same one BMW's been putting on their motorcycles for the last 90 years, which is an incredible engine, but anytime you mate 80-year-old technology with a 2020 quick shifter and auto blipper, it just doesn't work the way you would like it to right away, okay? The truth of the matter is it's a little clunky. This bike hates going from first to second and then down from second to first. It's just lurchy, and you still gotta feather the clutch a little bit, especially to make your passenger comfortable so you don't start plunking helmets together. Is what it is. It's not the end of the world, and of course, in the higher revs, the smoother the shifting can be. Then 17-inch wheels. Put any touring wheel you'd like on this. Make sure this is a heavy girl, so I wouldn't go so far as to put Q3s on it, only because handling the pressure might not be the easiest thing for those tires. You're just gonna wear through them super quick. But any kind of touring tire or Rosso 2 would be amazing on this. Sticky, tight. Now, my favorite part of any motorcycle, as everybody knows, is a center stand. Easy to move around, you can park it anywhere, and lets you display your beast perfectly every time. Moving on to some of the cons. As we all know, no motorcycle is perfect. This one is definitely as close as you can get to two-up perfection, but your actual pilot accommodations aren't even as luxurious as your passenger. First and foremost, the reason I'm sitting on it so you can see the bend in my knee. I'm 6 feet tall, I have a 33-inch inseam, and boy, this is cramped for such a big motorcycle. The reach to the bars, super comfortable, absolutely perfect, as per usual BMW. But let me just tell you, I would love probably another 2 inches more GS-esque spacing in between my seat and that foot peg. I'm just saying, if I'm gonna go on a super long trip for a day, for a weekend, whatever, you just kind of stretch your legs a little bit. But if I was gonna be on this for an extended period of time, I definitely would want it to be a little higher up and a little more comfortable. Nitpicky stuff, obviously if you're a shorter rider, whatever, but for all my guys with some stems, it's gonna be tricky. Then, we're gonna go on to this dashboard. Now, BMW has this gorgeous, brand new totally digital dashboard that they put on all their other motorcycles, except for the big RT and the K1600s. I don't get it. BMW, it's beautiful, it's full of information, it's super easy to navigate, but on here we have this, I'm gonna call it antiquated, two non-digital dials. I love an analog tack, but I would definitely love a proper digital display in the front of this. I don't know why we don't have it on this. It's a brand new motorcycle. BMW, give me my nice things. Then the most important and crucial thing is its appearance. Now this bike comes in, as you see it, fully loaded LE model at $25,000 American dollars. That's big bucks. in this category where you're competing against Harley Davidson. Now, all my Harley guys out there, truth is the truth. This will literally run circles around the Harley. Matter of fact, while I was on this with my wife on the back, we were coming off a highway, going onto my favorite twisty back roads, testing lane, and a Harley was pulling with me, and we were cruising on the highway speeds, and he was keeping up no problem. As soon as we got to those twisties, I even tapped my head on my wife. I was like, he's not gonna be able to keep up. She went, what do you mean? And then we start handling, and this thing can out-handle any BMW, this BMW can out-handle any Harley Davidson, especially my road glides and my street glides. You just can't hang. But it looks goofy compared to those. Everything is high up. The nose is just not cool. It's just not cool. It's not bad. It's not good. It's just not nearly as cool as a Harley Davidson. Plus, this exhaust note, it sounds like a weed whacker. I don't mind it, and plus when I'm riding, especially with a passenger, I want to be able to talk to them, but it's just not as fresh. That's all. So between the numbers, the looks, you're definitely in a tricky position. Moving on to my final thoughts. Last couple things I want to say about this amazing RT. First up, my favorite thing about the bike in general is the central locking system. There's nothing like walking away from your bike with your key in your hand and getting that little boop boop. Let's give it a listen real quick. Yeah, that is so fun, so fun. I love it. Boop boop, coming, going, lock it, unlock it. I like it. Then, in the very stable that this comes from, there's the RS model, which is a lighter, I would say a little bit better handling, more aggressive, sportier model of this same bike. You have the wind protection, you have the bags. If you're not gonna have a passenger, I would go for the RS. If you're gonna drive around with a friend or with your wife like I did, definitely go for the RT. You'll get a girlfriend with the RS, but if you already have a wife, the RT is where it's at. I don't know how many chicks you're gonna be picking up with this. Just what I think. But people love these. That's the last thing I wanna say, is this bike is absolutely adored by its owners. And that makes these a little bit hard to find. My friends at Gold Coast Motorsports just have this one left on their showroom floor. Very desirable bike, and that means its resale value is excellent. You can go and look these up on an Auto Trader or Cycle Trader rather, or even a Craigslist. Facebook Marketplace too. You will see these are still going for $17,000, $18,000, $19,000, sometimes $20,000 used with 5 digits on the odometer. You gotta love that. These things hold their value, they hold their power, and they really are wonderful. Folks, especially my RT owners, let me know what you think of your bike. Tell me why you love it. I can't imagine anybody has anything bad to say, but if you hate it, tell me. I am so curious to know why. Folks, please like, subscribe, share this video. New videos coming at you every Friday. Thank you for tuning in.